meant to boost liberal activists. The latest focus is on a nonprofit with ties to former Georgia Democratic gubernatorial candidate Stacy Abrams. The Free Beacon says the EPA is looking to where some $2 billion ended up. The Beacon writing out in their story that they have been looking into whether or not this money through the Powered Forward communities received the green energy grant, despite the fact that it was founded months earlier in late 2023 and never managed anywhere near the grant's dollar figure. Now, Abrams just this week was pretty vocal on X, saying she's no fan of these DOGE cuts. We'll look to see if this group responds to the accusation about the money being misspent. And we're also looking to see if the president talks about what it's been like as he marks 1 month in office today. Bill?
Okay, good deal, Mark. Thanks. The plate is full, and it's 9 a.m. Nice to see you, sir. Dana.
And Senator James Langford, Republican of Oklahoma, joins us now. I just want to ask you something. On that money that went to Stacey Abrams' group and was supposedly misspent, that's what the accusation is. Can Congress claw that money back?
Yeah, that becomes a challenge. You tell me if we can get enough Democrats to be able to join us in the Senate to be able to do that. The president can do that, though, with the oversight that's actually happening and to say, how are we going to actually make sure that this is actually done? And the Department of Justice can say if this was fraudulently done. They can actually work to claw it back. It is interesting to me to be able to watch. Early days of the Biden administration, they were creating DEI programs. He was requiring all agencies to find Green New Deal ways to be able to engage, and he was cutting off oil and gas production on all federal lands. Flip the script 4 years later, we're cutting government size and we're opening up American energy. Dramatic difference between side by side in first month.
Okay, so Elon Musk is the lead blocker on this play. Here he was with Sean last night on solving the deficit if possible.
I really want to emphasize to people that this is a very important point. If we don't solve the deficit, there won't be money for medical care. There won't be money for Social Security. We either solve the deficit or all we'll be doing is paying debt. It's got to be solved, or there's no medical care, there's no Social Security, there's no nothing. It's got to be solved. It's not optional. America will go bankrupt if this is not done. That's why I'm here.
I want you to react to that. And this is the breakdown of the money that we're hearing, okay? They're saying $2 trillion. I don't know where they get the number. Others say $1 trillion, but we'll see how it plays out. And then you'd give $400 billion back to the taxpayer, which equals $5,000 per household. If you're trying to save money, does all that add up for you? Go.
First priority is actually get the debt down. Everyone wants free checks in the mail. There's no doubt about that. But we've got to be able to solve the debt and the deficit issues on that. Elon is correct in that we are going to continue to have high inflation and not be able to spend on the things that are critical for us, infrastructure, healthcare, education, national defense, if we actually continue to run this debt. And as people talk about power around the world on this, China continues to be able to influence other countries where we are not able to engage in some of those areas, even foreign policy, and be strategic about it because we're dealing with debt and deficit. Right now, we have to borrow money from China to be able to pay our own bills. That is a weak nation's future, not a strong nation's future. Let's fix that.
One of the things that you've done is come up with Senator Langford's top 5 federal fumbles. We can put them up here for everybody to see. Tell me a little bit more about it, because I have a feeling this has a lot to do with sports references, and I'm not sure I can follow appropriately. So let me turn it over to you. I know what a broken playbook is.
Yeah, a broken playbook's pretty simple on this, that you're actually trying to deal with disaster relief and to be able to figure out how we're going to solve some of the problems that we have. Right now, if you look at that spaghetti map that's probably up there right now, I can't see it, but if you look at that, there are 30 different agencies that actually oversee disaster. So while President Trump has said we need to return control back to the states, if your small community is in a disaster, you have to contact 30 different agencies, have 30 different processes just to do disaster relief because of the complexities of federal government. Everything from the Department of Commerce, Small Business Administration, FEMA, Corps of Engineers, on and on and on and on. That can't be. That is just wasteful on it. Let's have single authority on it. And if at all possible, have it be the states that's a single point of authority that's closest to the actual disaster.
Got it. I like the blown coverage and letting China run up the score. Clever stuff there. One more topic for you. Executive order signed last night by the president saying that illegals will not be eligible for any more federal dollars. Now, Bill Clinton tried to run this play in the late 1990s, changing welfare. Is it different now? Will it work? How much will you save?
So there's a couple of things there. And your reference to Bill Clinton's a good reference on that. Don't forget Bill Clinton, and during his administration, reduced the federal workforce about 250,000 people. So everybody's screaming about President Trump reducing federal workforce. They weren't screaming when Bill Clinton did this decades ago, wanting to reduce federal workforce as well. Same issues here. If we're going to get benefits, those benefits need to go to people legally present here and American citizens, not people illegally present. I don't see a long line of people saying, I really want my tax dollars to go to someone who broke our law and illegally came into the country rather than going to schools, national defense, and transportation. People want their tax dollars to go to what they expect them to go to, not what they actually oppose or to the violation of our own law.
And the polling coming back just in this last month shows that that is absolutely what they still believe. We'll see if the Democrats try to defend this and how that turns out. Great to have you on. Thanks for being on.
Thank you,
show.
Senator. Good luck with your program. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, you as well.